Good evening, friends. Come on in and say hello for this 9th day of Christmas. Hey, Kim. Oh my gosh, Debbie, you're home? That's a miracle. Christmas miracle. Oh, I'm so glad you got home from work. Good job. Hey, Diane. All right, people are finding us. Oh, hello, Illinois. And Patty, good to see you too. And Candy. I'm so glad you guys keep coming back. That's a bonus, huh? It is for me. That makes my heart happy. Good to be with you this evening. I hope wherever you are that you are warm and toasty. I've been a little cold today, so nice to be up here under the lights. Hi, Jean. Good to see ya. Good. Hey, Deb. Welcome. Hey, Sharon. And Miss Baker's here. Yay. All right, people are coming on in. I am so glad. Thanks for sharing, Debbie. I appreciate that. I really appreciate everybody who's been sharing recently. It's just been wonderful. We're getting new friends who are coming in, and that's just wonderful. We can continue to spread some joy. I think we can all use some joy in 2020, right? All right. So I'm going to get started. Wanted to let you know that today I ordered all of my new catalogs and the celebration catalog, so they will be here shortly. So if you have not subscribed to my mailing list, you're going to want to make sure you do that because you're not going to want to miss this one. It's a beaut. It is a beaut. Amber, how are you? Congratulations. Thanks for sharing. I appreciate that. So yes, if you are interested in seeing the inside of that new gorgeous catalog that's coming out, and get ready for Celebration, our biggest event of the year, you're going to either leave me a message here, you're going to subscribe to my mailing list, however you would like to do it, but you want to get on there so you get one of the copies. All right. So tonight I am going to pair two probably unlikely stamp sets together. And I love this For Unto Us stamp set. I've used it several times for classes. I don't know that I've shown it here on live, but we're going to do it tonight. This is more of a religious stamp set, which is gorgeous. Lots of beautiful sayings, wonderful fonts. Hark the Herald Angels Sing, Glory to the Newborn King. Just really pretty. I love this sentiment here. We're going to use this on the inside of our card tonight. It says, "May your heart be lifted in praise this Christmas for the wonderful gift of Jesus and the joy he brings to our lives." How cool is that? I love it. Sharing with you the glory, wonder, and miracle of this holy season. For unto us a child is born. Thanks, Amber. Appreciate that. Christmas begins with Christ, so that's really cool. And you may not really think this would go with this, but I'm going to show you how my brain got there. So let me show you where you can find these first of all. In the holiday catalog that will end at the end of this month, you will, back on page 35, you'll find the For Unto Us stamp set, and it's on the same page as that gorgeous Evergreen Forest 3D embossing folder. Love that. And you can see here they used it on that gold foil, and we've done that before in class since it came out, so check that out. But this is the stamp set here on page 35 of the holiday. And then the Birds and Branches, that stamp set is actually over here in the main catalog, over here on page 120. And you'll notice that it has down here at the very bottom it says coordinates with Birds and More dies on page 174. So this does have matching dies that go with it. You can purchase separately, or you can get the bundle here for 10% off, and you'll just use this number up here in the bundle section. Okay, now when you see in our catalog, for those of you who aren't familiar, if you see in our catalog how some of the images, this one has kind of that bluish gray background behind them, that means there's a coordinating die that goes with them. These that have just plain white behind them, those don't have dies. So when you go through the catalog, you might keep that in mind. Keep an eye out for those. Like, see, these do not have dies. But if you look over here, this one does. So on page 120. All right, so let's get started. Thanks to everybody who's been hopping over to my YouTube channel, by the way. Oh my goodness, I am loving seeing all you guys over there. That is wonderful. So if you haven't checked it out, be sure to. Oh, guess what today is? Today is December 1st, and you know what that means? That means today is the first day of this month's new Stampin' Anonymous tutorial bundle, and you can get this for free with any order. If you're an Inkerbell on my team, you get this tutorial bundle for free each month, so we'll be sure to put this one in there for you. But it is chock full of really awesome projects, and this month the theme was Get Well and Encouragement. So all 6 of the projects will do with Get Well, little Get Well projects for you. All right, let's go. So, hi Kathy, good to see you. Here is tonight's card. This one, I don't know, I just really love the way this turned out. This was in my head, and I am very happy with the way that it turned out. This one is, like I said, pairing those 2 stamp sets together. The sentiment here for Unto Us a Child is Born is from the Christmas set, and then this is actually the bird's nest, and these are actually bird wings. So I'm going to show you how I did the little wings under here for the bottom of the manger. Fun fact, did you know that the word manger actually means bread box? It does. And we all know that Christ is the bread of life. So that's pretty cool. All right, so here we go. Let's get started with this one. We're going to use a Night of Navy. Oh, I'm glad you guys like it. We're going to use a Night of Navy card base, and this one's going to measure 4 1/4 by 11, and we're going to score it in the center at 5 1/2. So I just have that one done. I'm going to set it aside. Now, you're going to want a piece of, this is the brushed gold behind here, this little thin layer here. I used that because I didn't have any more shiny gold that was big enough to use as a card base. So that's my little mat around the edge, and this one measures 3 7/8 by 5 1/8. Okay, 3 7/8 by 5 1/8. And that's because our focal image here, this piece of Very Vanilla, is going to be 3 3/4 by 5. So this one will fit really nicely right here on that. And you get that little peak of the gold around the edges. So really nice little pop. Just kind of make your image pop. So there are those. Then you're going to need another piece of the Very Vanilla, the same size, 3 3/4 by 5 for the inside right here. Okay. All right, so that's the main part. Then you're going to need some, excuse me, I got a frog in my throat. You're going to need some scraps. So you're going to need a scrap of soft suede, a scrap of, oh my gosh, I lost my train of thought. You're gonna need Petal Pink. Good Lord, I couldn't think of that one. Whew. Some more Very Vanilla, some gold, and then yeah, that's it actually. So not too many supplies, but really, really cool. Okay, I'll try not to choke here. All right, so I'm just gonna bring in my piece of Very Vanilla, and I'm gonna bring in a long piece of Very Vanilla because I want to use this to when I do the edges for my little rays coming down from the Christmas jar. So if you'll notice, everything kind of comes down from one point. So you're going to kind of just pivot around as you go in and create the background. So I'll show you what I mean. So I used a couple of different colors for my rays of light. I started with Seaside Spray. Now you can use sponge daubers, you can use your sponges, your Stampin' Sponges, or you can use, when they come out, you can use our new blending brushes. And this one, I've been giving it a run for its money because I want to make sure I know how to use them before the new catalog goes live. So I'm going to use this again tonight to show you. If you'll remember, we did this other card the other night with the snow scene on it and blended these in. So we're going to do something a little bit like that tonight, but a little different. All right. So let's scoot that guy over. I want to start with the point for my star. Hey, thanks for sharing, everybody. Hi, Maria. Thank you for joining. I'm glad you like it. I'm going to start over here at the top, and I'm going to bring my piece of whatever scrap you have. I just grabbed this piece of vanilla. And wherever I want my star to come from, I'm going to start over at that point. And probably no two will be the same, so no worries. So this one, remember when you wipe your brush off, the color goes right away, so you don't have to worry. So I'm going to pick up some of the Seaside Spray, and we're going to start over here on the top left, and I'm just going to bring some down into my card. And I'm going to kind of go off the edge and make that a little darker towards the edge here where it meets the guide here, okay? So the edges are a little bit different than the other parts of the rays. So I'll pick this up, and I'm going to turn my card a tad, and we're going to go down from this point. I'll pivot out some like that, and I want to make sure I start down the edge first. I'm going to be darker here at the top, and you don't have to worry about making it too dark because we're going to go back in and add some Night of Navy in there. So, all right, so there's that little bit of lighter color there, which is what I want to fill in a little with my my yellow in a little bit. All right, so there's that. So let's pivot on around from this point, bring it around, and we'll do the same thing. Okay. And I'm not going to be too heavy-handed here at the bottom because I want to go back in and add a little bit of ground to kind of give that the manger a little that little weight at the bottom that's going to hold it to give it a place to sit from. Okay, so let's bring it on around. And you can do as many as you'd like. I just kind of spread them out. Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate it. All right, so I'll bring this, whoops, bring it down, and I won't let go this time. Scoot it back over. Like that. Whoops. Like that. Just going to want to press down so that the piece underneath is getting anchored. So we'll do that. Bring a little more dark here at the top, a little lighter at the bottom, and over towards the back of this other ray. You want to leave that a little lighter, and you can make it as light or as dark as you want it, really. Bring this on over, and it may seem like it takes a while to get it done, but it really, I mean, I'm kind of doing it slower because I'm trying to explain, but you can make this in not a lot of time, to be honest, and it's really fun. All right, there are those guys. We'll pivot on around, do a couple little more over here, like so. Okay, a little darker towards the top, and then I'm just going to come over where this last section is, and I'm going to add a little bit more Seaside Spray in there and just finish that up like so. Okay, so you're still getting that line because we're not going over that really dark. So there we go. All right, so there's our basic. Oh, I'm so glad, Marie. I'm glad you like it. There's our base for the rays of the light coming down from the Christmas star. So next I'm going to come in with some So Saffron. I'm just going to wipe my brush off. I'm going to pick up some So Saffron on here. Like that. I'm going to wipe a little bit of it off because I don't want it to be really bold when I first start out, because you want to get a good feel for, you know, how much you're putting down. And really the So Saffron, you want to be kind of a light, just like a hint of that in there. You don't want it to be very bold. And you can always go back and add more, remember, but you can't take any off. So less is more. There we go. Like that. And I'm putting really more of the yellows. I want kind of midway and up. I don't want as much of it towards the bottom. So we'll do more towards the top. And I'll show you what I mean. You can go back and kind of blend them after you get done with all three colors. There we go. All right. There we go. A little bit more. And these brushes, I think these guys are probably going to sell out once the catalog goes live, because these are so amazing. But like I said, until then, you can use your sponges or your daubers, sponge daubers, like that. Just kind of blend all that in. And then you can come back with your dauber and your brush, and kind of bring it down from the top and blend that in like that. Okay. And then one more, we're going to use, Seaside Spray. That's actually an In Color, last year's In Color. All right, last one we're going to use is Night of Navy. Now you don't need a ton of Night of Navy, because the darker you want up here at the top behind your star, okay? So you want to keep that as your darkest point up there. So we'll bring some of this guy in, and always be lighter handed when you start with the darkest color, because like I said, you don't want to go too wild with that. Just have a hint of it down there and then blend it into the others. And it's just really gonna start to come to life when you start with that Night of Navy. See, and you can still see your lines, your rays there. I'm just gonna bring a little bit of it in there and blend. So there we go. There you have it. So that's your basic background. I might go back in and add just a tad more yellow for the middle section here. Let's see. Here we go. Yeah, that's better. I'll just add a little bit more into those rays like that. Isn't that fun? Love it. Hi, Michelle. Thanks for joining. Thank you, Diana. You're so sweet. All right, now, like I said, you want something to ground this so that it looks like it's not floating in midair. He's not levitating up there. So we want to put a little bit of any color brown that you'd like down here. The other one I used was this one. What did I use? Cinnamon Cider, I think. It's time I'm going to use just a tad of soft suede. Let's try this one down here. And I just, I cut a little edge. I just took my scissors and went kind of across there a little bit. And I'm going to take that, put it down here towards the bottom, maybe about 3/4 of an inch up. Pick up a little bit of soft suede. Whoops. Like that. And for this, I'm going to start off the bottom and bring it up, just to get the darker part down, to make sure that it's not going to go like really super dark right away. And then I can come in and blend into it like that. But like I said, you want to make sure you're giving the manger something to be grounded to. Like that. There we go. All right. There we go. Ta-da! All right, now I am going to go in and do the manger next. Now, I've already gone in and embossed and fussy cut one of the bird's nest and the these are wings for the birds from the Birds and Branches. So I actually used this one. This little wing over here is what I used. And I went in with some soft suede cardstock, just a little scrap. We're going to emboss just the nest, and I'll show you how. For those of you who don't usually emboss, I want to make sure I show you guys. And we'll give this, you want to give this background a chance to dry a bit before you start trying to emboss on it and that type of thing. So I'm going to go ahead and show you. We're going to need some Versamark ink, which is our watermark ink. And I used some clear embossing powder. These little containers are from Dollar Tree. These I think I got from Dollar Tree or Party Store, one of those. Just a little spoon, but you don't have to have one. You can put a little piece of little scrap of folded cardstock in there if you want. So I'm going to take my bird nest and I'm going to ink that up with a little bit of Versamark. This is clear. And this is just going to give us a little bit of texture with the, looks like the sticks that make up the bird's nest. But you want to make sure you get a nice solid image and then bring in your embossing powder and just sprinkle it on like that. Like so. All right, so let's heat this, see how it turns out, and then we'll start assembling. There we go. So my heat tool, and I'm just gonna go in, make the magic happen. This is probably the technique that got me hooked on stamping to begin with. The magic. Like that. And there you go. See how it embossed the top, so it's real nice and shiny like that. So I did one of those and just cut around the little branches that are coming out, and then I embossed two of those little wings. So we're gonna have these guys. Oh, let me put my Versamark away so I don't stick my arm in that. That would not be fun. And I want to go in and I'm gonna put my manger down here at the bottom, okay? And what I did was I put a couple of dimensionals back here on the back of the manger because I want the, hi Sharon Klein, good to see you. Put these guys back here because I wanted the manger to sit with the legs kind of behind it. It looks like they're behind it anyway, or underneath of it rather. So I'm going to take my little legs here. I'm going to just kind of eyeball where I want these. And I wanted them to kind of sit low to the ground and out. So that's why I had them angled that way. So we'll do another one over here. Let's see, right about there. All right, there's that guy. Now, before I go in and put my manger down for good, I'm going to go in and I'm going to emboss the sentiment on here for "Unto us a child is born." Okay, so because I used a lot of ink on this, this is pretty saturated. It may not feel wet, but we want to make sure that it's not damp at all. So I'm going to bring my heat tool in, run it over this just for a few seconds to make sure that I'm drying that out. So nothing's going to stick to it when we emboss that we don't want. There we go. All right. There's that guy. All right, now I'm going to move my stamp sets over. Going to bring in my stamp right here. I gotta move that guy too. Sorry, I got embossing powder on me. I'm gonna bring in my stamp and my Versamark ink. And we are going to emboss the sentiment. So I want it to be a little, just a tad above center, okay? So we'll ink this guy up. And then line that up just for kicks. Like about there. And you probably can't see it, but it's there. And then sprinkle. Oh, I just did it in clear, didn't I? Well, that was fun, Michelle. Wonder what would happen if I put the gold over top of it, since I just messed that up. Probably nothing. Worth a shot. I could almost hear Debbie Colby saying, "Wait, don't use that one." All right, well, we're gonna emboss it anyway. I can always go back and put an embossed label over top of it. Live from New York. There we go. All right, so we'll leave that on there, and I'll go back and do a label and put over top of it. But you can see when it's done with the correct powder, this is what the gold looks like. So we'll go ahead and put our manger on here. Where's my lid? Here. Keeping it real, people. Keeping it real. Just for you. All right, I'm going to put my manger on here, so we'll bring in some dimensionals. Let's see, I think I want to use these. And then I will put a little bit, or actually I can just put a couple of glue dots here on the legs, and then we won't have to do our other adhesive. Thank goodness, Kim. Thank goodness. All right, so this little guy will go right here. Like that. Okay, now for the star, for the Christmas star, I wanted something that was kind of ornate. And if you look at the star that's in the For Unto Us stamp set, it's really small, and it wasn't going to make enough of an impact. It's this little guy right here. See how little he is? So I didn't want to use that. I needed something bigger. So you can use whatever stars you have, but I pulled in my Stitch Stars dies, and I'll show you. I used this guy right here, okay? And once I cut it out, it looks like this, and it has those little sections in there, and they cut out also. So I wanted something that was solid to go on there. So I went back with this little scrolly star and just ran this through with some gold behind it and got some of the little sections there out of the middle. And that way this goes over top of it and you get that solid star image like this. Okay, so that's 2 layers. It just has the solid one behind it. Oh, I forgot to tell you what tonight's freebie is for 12 Days of Christmas. Tonight's freebie actually is the Gilded Gems. So these guys right here are ones that I use a lot, and it is fabulous. So place an order online store with the host code, and you too can get those. All right, let's see. There's my liquid glue. There we go. So I'm going to just put a little dot of glue up here. And then bring my Take Your Pick tool in, and I'm going to glue the solid star down first. Like that. And then I'm going to put a little dot right in the center. Like that. And then we'll bring our other star in, and it fits around the edges like that. Oh, thanks, Jan. Thank you, thank you, thank you. All right, so there's that, okay? Ignore this, I'm going to fix it. All right, so let's go ahead and create the little baby Jesus here in the manger. So like I said, I used some of the brushed gold, this one here, and because this is going to get covered up, I'm going to punch the halo here from the middle of this, or inside of it, not all the way to the middle. It doesn't have to be. I'm just going to punch a circle out because that's going to get cut out. So there's our little halo. This is a 1-inch circle punch. And then we're going to use a 1-inch circle out of Petal Pink, like that. And then I'm going to punch a couple of little, just maybe a third, maybe a quarter of a circle like this, because I'm going to go in and layer these for his swaddling clothes. There's that. Okay. So what we're going to do first is we're going to bring our gold halo right here, and I'm going to put a couple of glue dots behind it. You can use whatever adhesive you'd like. Oh, you know what? I did cut this one off too. I cut a little bit off the bottom of these so that they fit nicely behind the manger. So like that. And I'm just going to put this little guy down in here like this, leaving myself some room to put the little head. So let's see. Do the same thing to this one. Cut off a little of the bottom like that. And then I'm going to bring it down, and if you need to cut more, you totally can. It's going to depend on where your adhesive fit down in there, okay? Let's see, right about there. Yeah. Okay. Now, for his little robe clothes, swaddling clothes here. I did 3 different ones. If you can see here, there's one in the front, one in the back, and then this one at the bottom. So it gives that little full layered effect of the clothes. So the first one I'm going to do is this one in the back, and I'm going to put some adhesive on this, I think. Oh, I just put this one in. I got to start it. Forgot. So we're going to bring this one, and it's going to go back behind his head just a tad, and it'll stick up just a little bit higher so that the other ones can layer on top of it. So see how that's sitting up a bit, but it went behind the head right here. All right, the next one I'm going to do is the one that's going to go over the edge of his face right here. So I'm going to use one of these. And I'm going to bring it down into that little area there under the little nest like that. Okay, see how that fits right under there, and it's kind of covering that side of his face. All right, and then the last one will go more towards the right edge, and it's going to be tilted a little more down to the left like that, so it gives it that layered look. Okie doke, see that? All right, let's layer these guys up. Like so. I can see. There we go. And then we'll put it on our card base like this. Like that. Okie doke. All right. Okay, now let's do the inside. So the inside panel is also 3 3/4 by 5. Right here. And the sentiment, may your heart be lifted in praise this Christmas for the wonderful gift of Jesus and the joy he brings to our lives. How gorgeous is that? And I just brought in some Night of Navy. So let's do this one. And I did it a little more towards, I would say, top, a little above middle to give you room to write. That. Oh, Maria, thank you so much. I really, really appreciate it. All right, where's my trimmer? Oh, I buried it. Poor little guy. All right, now I'm going to cut a little piece of the brushed gold. I'm going to do a little 1/2 inch strip. And this is just going to add a little bit of interest to the inside bottom edge. And it's nice to do something like this. One, it grounds that panel, so it gives the bottom a little more weight. And I don't know, it just adds a certain little flair to your cards. I love putting designer paper or, you know, a little accent on the inside. Just makes it look finished. There we go. Like that. This will go on the inside. I love doing the inner layers this size, leaving a little more of a border. I think it just is so pretty, especially with a darker, lighter combination like this. I think it's really elegant. I love it. There we go. Oh, I smeared it. Oh well. I can fix it. I can fix that. You guys have a sand eraser? This thing is worth its weight. I got mine on Amazon, but it is thebomb.com. It's a Tombow sand eraser, and it helps take off ink that you don't want to be there. Love it. There we go. There's the outside. Here's the real outside with the one that I did the correct one in. Move your clear embossing powder before you do it. Ask me how I know. Oh, Debbie Clark, let me tell you, I don't want to show it to my mom because the last time I showed her one of my really pretty religious cards, she said, I need 24 of those. So, I love her. I don't know if I could love her that much right now, though. So, let me move this so it gets that terrible grit off of there. So there you have it, ladies and gents. That's tonight's 9th day of Christmas. A little bit of blending with a gorgeous stamp set. Actually, 2 gorgeous stamp sets. So I hope that you have enjoyed it. Don't forget, the Gilded Gems are tonight's freebie for the 9th day of Christmas with every order on my online store. Make sure you use that host code so you can get not only the gems, you know, the new, like I said, the new tutorial bundles there. So you're going to want it. All right. Thanks for joining me. I will be back tomorrow night with the 10th day of Christmas. Can you believe it? We're already on the 10th day. And I'll be here tomorrow night at 8 o'clock. I hope you will join me. Don't forget, check my YouTube channel for all the other days of Christmas, plus lots of other videos. While you're there, be sure to subscribe and hit the little bell for notifications. Thanks for joining me, and I will see you again tomorrow. Until then, stay safe, stay well, and God bless. Love you guys. Good night.